You guys, Jackie and I have co-taught for years and years together, and we're doing a unit on the Call of the Wild. So we wanted to assess that the kids had an understanding of the Call of the Wild.
Okay, so during the novel, the kids have been tracking a major theme in the book. So during chapter 4, we threw a quote up on Google Classroom and gave the kids explicit directions to interpret what the quote meant. After looking at it, it just looked like they didn't either do it. They were supposed to comment on each other's comments. I wrote the word interpretation. Kids saw the word prediction.
Yeah, I predict that. We saw a lot of that. I predict.
They literally just copied like what the other person wrote. So we're now writing a little thesis literary analysis paper, and so we figured we'd revisit this. And working in an inclusion classroom, not many kids, want to volunteer and talk. They are taking explicit notes and they are having discussions, but we wanted to give all students a voice and really assess their understanding.
So we also discussed the student population, and we said, well, some students are strong writers, some are not. How can we differentiate this activity and meet the needs of all students?
So what we did was we split the, Eve and I had met and collaborated. We basically grouped the kids into 3 different groups. One group, they were supposed to look at the quote. They all now know what the quote actually means, but now that we were starting the paper, they were to have to connect it to their theme. So one group just was simply supposed to pick a picture from the internet that reflected the quote and then write a sentence about how that connected to their theme. Okay? Then one other group was supposed to together write a paragraph about how this quote connects to their theme using text evidence. And the last group was to then, and we explained to them, and it was up here, the instructions, have a discussion over Google Classroom. How would you, respond to someone's response in class? Would you say you agree with them, disagree with them? Would you tell them to add something? That's a hard thing to tell kids to do, but it was promoting student discourse, and we were trying to differentiate and make the kids feel they had a role in the classroom. So as you can see, they picked, it's about Buck thinking.
That's the law of club.
Yeah, it's the Call of the Wild. He's thinking.
What was really cool is
so
we heard them, we walked around and we heard them talking in each other's group, but we also heard them saying, like, this group would say over that group and make comments also orally, which we thought was really cool.
Yeah, they were actually helping each other. When the paragraph group was typing their response, they had to work on it together. So that's hard. They're working on one paragraph. Another group would actually write a comment in. The comment group would say, hey, you forgot the citation here, or hey, you forgot this word. And that was cool. So then at the end, the comment group was able to then add their comments about what they agree with, what they saw, how this connected to the theme. And we really felt that this helped them going into the paper. As a reflection, we talked about the comment group sat there for a while the other groups were getting their resources together. So in the future, we probably would put up teacher examples for them to work with while they waited for the picture group and the essay group to get done, so then they could comment
on what we
there.
put up there as an example.
But we felt that this really worked. It gave kids who don't really talk in class a voice. It gave them more structure, because just telling them to go on there and interpret a quote, you know how they go home and they don't do it, or to say comment on someone else. Certain kids will do that, but most won't unless they're getting something out of it, so an extra credit. So
it was neat to do it during the class and do it as a class activity. It did take us a couple of periods to do it, and then we also discussed it with the kids, and we got the kids' feedback and asked them how they liked it, and we got some pretty good positive feedback on this.
Yeah. So that was basically it. So just.
Thank you, guys.
I don't know. I might say
I got that. Don't worry.
Sorry.
I got that. Thank you all very much.